it. And we know that children as young as 5 and 6 now notice that they feel different from their peers.
Some of our youngest students, like the LGBTQ, while it works great with older kids, it's kind of over the head sometimes of our youngest students.
Gender inclusive language. I really think with littles, it's that simple. It's taking out that binary and that gender exclusion starts to rewire. I feel like I'm talking about the brain all night tonight. Starts to rewire and starts making those different neural connections of, oh, we'll just, instead of saying boys and girls, we'll say everyone. And that will set a foundation instead of addressing everything one by one.
There's a lot of conversation around gender identity and this idea of people needing to be put in a box, male or female, masculine or feminine, and that binary in itself is exclusive.
Look, there's my rainbow, and there's my unicorn, and here's some more rainbows. Your email signature. Do you have your pronouns in your email signature?
That is Gay Straight Alliance, like a school club that is primarily LGBTQ plus students or their allies. But there are sometimes pushback on GSAs from community or staff members, especially at the middle school level. Can you share from your perspective why those groups are vital at the middle school age level or any age level?
I understand a lot of times the discomfort around having these types of groups at such a young age is because this idea of you're pushing an agenda. You're pushing an agenda. It can make people feel uncomfortable. It's not an agenda. It's not pushing an ideology. So I don't think middle school is too young.
5th, 6th, 7th grade. That's when they're questioning. That's when they're exploring. Data will tell you that students as young as 4th grade have sometimes already experimented with anal sex. And so we're already too late. For whatever reason, they've chosen to ask you, and you should be honored. You should feel honored. You should respect that they have chosen you to seek out that information and really latch onto that, because for whatever reason, you're the chosen person. And I don't know if you've ever felt that from a young person, but I have.
But my button says, hello, my pronouns are she, her. I didn't say anything out loud. This just said the world.
Addressing the language that's being used and confronting it head on. We can't be silent upstanders. We have to be vocal upstanders. And if we hear, students will parrot the language they heard used in the classroom. If you're using gender inclusive language, they will use gender inclusive language.
I really think it does come back to that gender inclusive language, especially with the younger kids. And I think any teacher, any assistant at the school can work on this. Anybody can change that language, and it's not really asking a lot.
I know we talk a lot about social emotional learning and equity. And so just a quick question, anyone can answer this. How does LGBTQ advocacy and allyship and awareness, how does that overlap with social emotional learning and equity?
A big component of social and emotional learning is we're never too old to learn new things. Especially for faculty and staff members, you are shaping the minds of the next generation. You're spending 30 to 35 hours a week with these young people.
Awesome. So this was phenomenal. I just want to say thank you. It's great to be able to share this space with each of you. And so I just want to thank you for all of your expertise that you've offered this evening.
So appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for everyone who's engaging in this important conversation. We've started some training. We had some big plans for this year, but we're committed to the goal of really helping our staff learn how to be more gender inclusive, how to be upstanders. And so, one of the things that has been really important in our building, in building safe culture, has just been having a very active GSA.
And again, I want to thank everyone on our panel, and thank you, Mr. Urban, for sharing today. This was such useful information.